My name's Allen Williams. I'm 29 years old,
And I'm Danielle Williams. I'm 31 years old.
and we live in Bowie, Maryland.
How long have you all been married?
Almost 3 months.
As a teenager, I know I went one time with one of my father's friends' daughters to the movies. I wasn't really even attracted to her, but she was older, and I liked that she was older. I was at my father's house, and I lived with my mother, and I didn't have clean clothes, so I grabbed one of my sister's shirts, and it had DKNY on the little black shirt. The DKNY was made of glittery rhinestones, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know that people wouldn't be able to tell that was a girl shirt because I was 13 and I was dumb. So I remember when her family saw it and they was just like, okay.
You wanted to date?
Yeah. So
okay.
But I never spoke to the girl after that date, but I didn't like her that much anyway. Well, as a teenager, I was in and out of juvenile detention centers. When I was in school, I was in advanced classes, and I was locked up with kids that could barely read. So they would make me go be in class with these other kids that I didn't need to be around. So I was like, I don't need to be here. They was like, if you take the GED, you won't have to come to class anymore. So as soon as you had to be 16 to take it, as soon as I turned 16, I took the GED. So I didn't understand that getting my GED, I wouldn't be able to go back to high school. The point is, I didn't go to high school, but what formed my dating experience was I had home dates. Like I met girls on Black Planet, and they didn't want to go to school, so they would skip school, catch the bus and the train and the bus to my house, and those were my dates. It was the best scam because girls might not even like me that much, but they didn't want to go to class, so I gave them a place to go during the day, and it worked out for me.
You know, in high school, I had 2 relationships in high school, but I didn't not a lot of casual dating. I mean, there were guys who liked me or I liked them, but we were just more so friends who liked each other, and we tried to go out on dates sometimes, but like when we saw that, it wasn't gonna work, we just stayed friends.
I was ahead of the game. I was Netflix and chilling before Netflix was even that popular. As a teenager, if I went on multiple dates or if I had sex with a girl, she assumed, okay, we're in a relationship. And much to her dismay when she found out that I didn't look at it the same way, but my views were shaped by my stupid friends in Glen Arden, who they didn't have anybody teach them the right way and what to do, so they taught me. And as far as I knew, you were supposed to meet girls, have sex with them, and then never answer their calls again. Like that's what my friends taught me.
The last relationship I had in high school is the person who I lost my virginity to. So before then, sex was not involved. It wasn't just a part of it. It was just kind of like, I like you, you like me. And but once that happened, then sex was a part of my other dating relationships. Yes, up until I made the decision for abstinence.
I was locked up at 17 and came home at 18 as I rededicated my life to Christ and started living more for Him. I was at a point where I was 19 and I was on fire for Christ, and I was serving Him. I spent 5, 6, 7 days a week in church serving in different ministries and living for God for the most part, except for I had a girlfriend that I had sex with almost every day. In my mind, it was like, okay, at least I'm not just having sex with random girls all the time.
My relationship changed in my early 20s by making some bad relationship decisions, like being in some not good relationships, and just learning that.
What made them not good?
Being attracted to people, just what they look like, but not really going deeper than that to think beyond that. So once we knew that we were attracted to each other and we started, and part of that was having sex with each other, but then after that, when we started having to get past those surface level things, Like there was a lot of conflict, or we didn't work well together. So it ended up being more destructive than anything.
I went to community college for a year, and then I transferred to Delaware State University. And I told my girlfriend, like, I didn't want to do a long distance relationship because that wasn't going to work. When I left for college, I didn't know that I was going to backslide, going from spending 6 nights a week in church to trying to have sex with as many girls as I could.
I lived with a boyfriend before I made my decision for abstinence. So that was kind of a very traumatic situation, awakening point for me to, and my parents have been married for 34 years. So kind of, I was just like living and doing my own thing. And I am a Christian. And so that was kind of God's wake up call to me to be like, if this is what you choose after, what I've given you, then, you deserve all the bad consequences and, just whatever life that it comes with. So from that's when I made my decision to really pursue dating a different way, God's way. And a part of that was my decision for abstinence, and that was at 24.
I came home from college after my dad died. Once I was out of that environment and I was trying to refocus and get back right with Christ, I still felt like there's no way I could stop having sex because I loved having sex so much, but I could at least stop trying to have sex with a bunch of different women. I was watching one of the Pastor Keith Battles' sermons about you dedicating your life to God and not using your body for what He didn't create it for. So at that point, I pursued abstinence. But like I said,
how old were you at that time?
Maybe 25, 26. Just making a decision to be abstinent doesn't mean that you're going to be abstinent, at least not for me, because when I had opportunities in the beginning of trying to be abstinent, then I failed. But as I grew stronger in my relationship, and I realized the certain things I could and couldn't do, like I couldn't have a girlfriend that didn't have a relationship with God and want to be abstinent and want to stay pure before marriage. So I just had to learn that there had to be certain parameters around relationships and parameters around sex if that's what I wanted to pursue.
Well, I didn't date the next person until I was 28. So I was at 24, I went through grad school, and I knew I just needed time to get myself together and just really focus on school. So I knew God was telling me like to pause on dating. I needed to rediscover myself, learn who God wanted me to be. But once I did start dating, I learned to be very clear about my standards and what I desired, and to be confident in what that was. Once I got out of grad school, there were about like 5 guys who wanted to date me. And so I went out
had a rotation of 5 dudes. You're starting 5.
Yeah.
And let me see. All right, number 3. Okay, let me hit him up.
So what I learned was that I could go out with them and I could see behind beyond what they were just saying. And I really had a deeper level of discernment. And so I was able to kind of realize that, we're not on the same page.
It was trial and error. First it was going to the club and meeting women then there, and that not ending well, then saying, okay, all right, maybe I need to get me a Christian woman, so I'm going to find me a pretty girl at church. Then after that, I'm like, well, Christian women got more drama than the girls at the club, so I'm just going back to the club. And that ain't work out again. Eventually, I met the right one who was pursuing purity herself before she even met me. We met in the back of a mutual friend's car on...
That sounds real suspect right there.
That's what everybody says.
We met in the back of a car.
We were going to a ski trip.
We were just happened to be 2 people riding with the person who planned it in the back seat. We talked on the way up there, and we just asked about her parameters. Like when we first met, she said she didn't want to kiss until we were married, and I was like, all right, we'll see how long that lasts.
Until I said I didn't want to kiss until I was married.
Yeah.
Not we. We didn't know that we were a thing at that point.
Yeah, I know. We spent the weekend up there together, and I saw that. Just from the car ride up there, us talking. I saw we had a lot in common, and then like I was watching the Wizards game on my laptop, and like she wanted to watch it, and I'm just such a huge sports fan. It's such a big part of my life. that I was attracted to the fact that she liked sports, and we had some of the same values. And by the end of the weekend, I felt like I knew enough that I wanted to ask her out.
I saw that we had things in common. He loved sports. He knew my sister. It was just positive vibes. Pastor Battle, that's where we go to Zion Church, he had done a series, and it was like a fast that we were just doing. And I remember writing in my journal that I, just wanted to be open to like that next level of relationship that that God would have me to be open to. And so it just kind of, when he asked me on a date, and again, having the conversation, all those events leading up, I felt like I saw a green light, or I had a green light to at least say yes.
If I was going to find a life partner, then they had their character and dreams and goals, and even their hobbies had to align with what mine were. So to answer your question, yeah, there obviously were other women I was still attracted to, but their priorities and the things that they were interested in weren't going to line up with what I needed, and Danielle did. So even with my purpose in life being working with kids, mostly teenage boys, I couldn't have married someone who hated kids or didn't want to be around kids, because now I have weekly sleepovers. So she has to deal with loud, smelly, farting kids every week. Depending on what you want to do in life as a man, when you're trying to find a woman, you may need a woman who you can take in different arenas in different areas.
That's important.
And they can interact with people without you having to just be attached to you all the time, and can be comfortable and can make other people feel comfortable. So I am thankful that she is a great partner in me working in my purpose with kids. Well, we eloped, but now we're having an actual wedding in 2 months. We are continuing to work on building our business together, because we're also in business together. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but she's just thinking about whether or not she wants to come off birth control.
And so our hashtag that we have is Winning Williams. And also we want to be able to be a positive light for other couples. We actually have started a community for couples, couples who are exclusively dating, engaged, married, because, we know that people have been asking us about our process and how we got through courting and dating and things like that. And so now we want to be able to share that with other people, and then us to get knowledge now that we're married. So we're in a new stage. Get to know yourself a lot and know what you stand for. I think in this realm of dating, there's so many things that you can accept, but you have to know what you will accept and what you want.
Pay attention to people when they try to tell you who they are. Listen. There have been relationships that I've been in where, like, when it was over, I would think I never knew that she was this type of person. But if I really was honest with myself, like, she had shown me signs from the beginning. But you got these Google love goggles on, and all you see is how fine this person is.
And just be very intentional. I think that's one of the things I appreciate about our dating, was how intentional Allen was throughout our courtship. So I was clear about where we were going. You want to be with somebody like that. Sometimes people can be in these relationships where they just don't know, like, well, are we together? Are we not? Mm-hmm. Like, what's happening? You want somebody who's sure about you, and that's important. But again, knowing your standards, because then that will help you to be in the right environments, to know where you should be, where you shouldn't be, where you're not wasting your time. Because, time is precious. We can always learn lessons, but we want to use our time and our hearts wisely.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Follow us on any of our social media platforms and leave a comment below and let us know what you think. It helps us create the content that you want to see.